Hello, Marvin. Welcome to the Atlantic City waterfront on a dark night with the ocean fog drifting in.
Little mist in the air. A perfect setting for discussing your novel, Framed.
Framed is one of my best pieces of fiction.
What aspects of it make you think it's one of your best?
Just the fact that it was based on two important films that are related to this genre, about people being set up. The first film is Double Indemnity.
Double Indemnity is a masterpiece of film noir. That whole insurance scam with Barbara Stanwyck and Fred McMurray is pure gold. What's the second film that influenced your novel?
Body Heat.
Body Heat, good choice. How did you weave the sultry Florida setting and that classic wrong man trope from both films into your novel?
We're in New Jersey for Framed here, and Gordon Butts is the perennial creep. He's a lowlife. And just by the way he dresses and doesn't shave half the time, he's in outside sales. He gets fired from a job, but he hears about a new job opportunity.
So Gordon Butts sounds like the perfect noir anti-hero. Disheveled, disparate, and about to stumble into something way over his head. What's this new job opportunity he hears about that's going to drag him into the frame-up?
Oh, he's definitely in over his head. Walter Thornton owns the company, but Walter Thornton is a goof. He really doesn't see what's going on around him, and Butts, who is clever, sharp, and shrewd, gets in there and really sells himself, leading Walter Thornton down the primrose path, where Walter Thornton hires him for the outside sales job here in New Jersey.
So Gordon's playing the long con from the start, using his street smarts to manipulate this oblivious company owner. I love how you've set up this classic noir dynamic where the sharp-eyed schemer meets the clueless Mark. What happens once Gordon gets his hooks into Walter's company?
Let's not give Gordon Butts the benefit of the doubt. Let's not call him Gordon. Let's just call him Butts. He's not worthy of having a first name.
Butts it is, Robert. So, what kind of trouble does this Butts character stir up once he's in Walter's company? I'm guessing it's not just selling encyclopedias door to door.
Well, it's plumbing supplies. And he also notices that Walter Thornton is a little bit older and has heart disease. But he has a stunning, beautiful wife named Connie Thornton.
Ah, there's the femme fatale. Plumbing supplies, an older husband with a bad ticker, and a gorgeous wife named Connie. This has all the makings of a classic noir setup. What does Butts start scheming once he sets eyes on the lovely Mrs. Thornton?
Butts just goes through his particular sales territory down through New Jersey, and that's going along like it should, but one afternoon he comes back to one of the supply houses, and who's in there all alone?
Let me guess. The stunning Connie Thornton is there all by herself? This sounds like the moment where Butts' sales territory becomes a lot more interesting than plumbing fixtures.
Ha! This is kind of a reverse going on here, but the reader may not even know it. It's going along where she just leads Butts into seduction.
Classic noir reversal. So Connie's the one pulling the strings, while Butts thinks he's the predator, making the reader think they're watching one thing while the real manipulation is happening right under their noses. How subtle are you making her moves? Is she playing the innocent wife or being more...
She's being direct, but there's no sex going on here or anything like that. It's just enough to put the tease out there for Mr. Butts. You'll see what's going on in a second. Connie Thornton and Butts meet again at a Christmas party at the Thorntons' palatial estate in New Jersey.
A Christmas party at the palatial estate. Perfect noir atmosphere. Ah, so Connie's playing the psychological game, just enough suggestion and temptation to hook Butts without crossing any lines. That's even more dangerous than outright seduction, because it leaves everything to his imagination. So this is where Connie makes her real move, on Butts, away from the plumbing supply house, and in her own territory where she has all the advantages.
Oh, she's got him all revved up and she doesn't have to make any moves. Butts is just on autopilot and they end up making love and start a regular relationship all behind Walter Thornton's back.
Classic noir territory. Connie's got Butts exactly where she wants him, while poor Walter's completely in the dark. So, now that they've got this secret affair going, what's Connie's real plan? Is she setting Butts up to help her get rid of Walter? Or is there an even bigger twist coming?
Well, that's exactly right. Very good. But here's how she does it. She just suddenly again says, you know, if Walter were out of the way, I could own the company and I could put you in a position where you could be very rich and very powerful.
There it is. The classic noir proposition. Connie's dangling the ultimate carrot: money, power, and her. She's got Butts completely hooked now with that triple threat. So does Butts bite immediately, or does he wrestle with the moral implications first?
Butts uses his brain, which is very surprising, and Butts goes into the library and starts doing research on heart disease drugs, which Walter Thornton is taking for his medication.
Oh wow, so Butts actually shows some intelligence for once. He's doing his homework on Walter's heart medication to figure out how to make it look like a natural death. What does he discover in his research that gives him the perfect plan?
When there's something in it for Butts, all of a sudden he becomes Mr. Intelligent.
Ah, so Butts is one of those guys who only gets smart when there's money on the table. Greed suddenly sharpens his focus like nothing else could. So what brilliant scheme does his newly activated brain come up with from all that heart medication research?
What he does is he realizes which drugs are involved. Walter Thornton takes a certain amount of the drugs every day. He schedules a time to ride with Walter Thornton across New Jersey in the sales territory in the rural areas.
Ah, so Butts is setting up the perfect alibi. He's planning to be right there when Walter has his heart attack during their sales trip across New Jersey. That's diabolically clever. He can tamper with Walter's medication and then play the concerned employee who tried to help when Walter suddenly collapses.
Walter is inside with one of the accounts. He gets the medication out of the car and dumps it down a sewer, so there's no medication. Remember, we're out in the middle of nowhere, and Walter Thornton has no idea that Gordon Butts is about to sabotage the car. So they're about 30 miles from anywhere, and we'll have to walk out to get to somewhere.
Oh man, so Butts dumps Walter's heart medication down the sewer and then sabotages the car to force a 30-mile walk? That's a death sentence for someone with heart disease. The physical stress will trigger a heart attack with no medication to save him. Butts has basically turned the entire sales territory into a murder weapon.
So they're walking along and Thornton is having trouble breathing. He's turning white and Butts could see that his plan is working fine.
So Butts is watching his murder plan unfold in real time. Walter's turning white and struggling to breathe as they're forced to walk those 30 miles without his heart medication. Does Butts play the concerned coworker act? Or does his true nature start showing through as he watches Walter deteriorate?
Walter Thornton is consumed by how he's feeling. Obviously knows his heart condition and is afraid he's going to have a heart attack, and he's several miles from the car and it's several miles from the end of the road. He's trapped.
Butts is putting on this fake concerned act while Walter's panic is making everything worse. Walter knows something's terribly wrong with his heart, but has no clue his trusted employee orchestrated the whole deadly situation. The fear and physical stress are probably accelerating his heart attack. Does Walter start to suspect anything, or is he too focused on just trying to survive?
No, he doesn't suspect Butts at the time, but he thinks Butts is a pretty good guy. Such a good salesman. But let me tell you, let me say this about Butts. He knows that he has Connie Thornton in back of him, and she'll back him 100%.
So Walter still trusts Butts completely because of his smooth-talking sales skills. And Butts feels invincible knowing Connie's got his back no matter what happens. That's the classic noir triangle. The husband trusts the killer trusts the femme fatale, and nobody sees the double cross coming until it's too late.
This is a double, triple cross. Walter Thornton collapses, and he's down for the count, and it looks like he's left this world. Butts gets to a place down the road and calls the police. In just a few minutes, the police and everyone else are down there, but this is where the story takes another turn. A very sharp detective named Maureen Garrity can see right through the kind of character Butts is.
Walter dies from the heart attack. That makes Detective Maureen Garrity's job a lot more serious. She's got a full homicide on her hands, and Butts thinks he's pulled off the perfect crime. Detective Garrity has that gut instinct that all great detectives have. She can smell something fishy about Butts' story, but the evidence all points to a natural heart attack.
Detective Garrity knows that as time goes by, that Butts did it, but she just can't prove it. So flash forward to when Walter Thornton is in the ground. Gordon Butts is living with Connie in the mansion and having the life where he can get anything he wants. She keeps promising him more, just as long as he increases sales. If you increase sales, Gordon, there'll be more money, etc., etc.
What gives her the first clue that this wasn't just bad luck on a sales call? Butts probably thinks he's being smooth with his fake concern and rehearsed story, but experienced detectives like her have seen every con in the book. Butts thinks he's won the lottery, mansion, beautiful woman, and all the perks, but Connie's still dangling that carrot, making him work for more rewards. Keep the patsy hungry and motivated while she's probably planning her next chess move. Connie's got what she wanted, and now Butts is just dead weight. She's pulling the classic Ice Queen routine, and poor Butts is too thick to realize he's gone from useful tool to liability. What's her endgame here?
Right, she owns the company now, and who cares about Gordon Butts? But he's looking ahead. You know the old saying, if you kill once, you'll kill again?
Exactly. Now Connie owns everything, and Butts is just a loose end. And you're absolutely right about that old saying. Once someone crosses that line into murder, the threshold gets lower each time. Is Detective Garrity starting to worry that Butts might see her as his next problem to solve?
Butts feels the heat from Garrity, but Garrity again can't prove anything.
So now Butts is getting paranoid about Detective Garrity breathing down his neck. He knows she's watching him even though she can't make anything stick yet. That's gotta be eating at him, especially since he's already proven he'll kill to solve his problems.
No, this is taken directly from the character Keys in Double Indemnity, played by Edward G. Robinson, where he's on the tail of Fred McMurray, but he can't prove anything just yet.
Detective Garrity is your Barton Keyes character, that relentless investigator who can smell something rotten, but needs the evidence to nail it down. Edward G. Robinson was perfect in that role. Always one step behind McMurray, but closing in with that methodical persistence. You've captured that classic noir tension where the detective knows but can't prove it yet.
Let's remember this about Body Heat, and I mean, William Hurt in that movie was seduced by Maddie Walker, and he has no idea he's being set up.
Exactly. William Hurt in Body Heat was completely played by Kathleen Turner's Maddie Walker character. Just like Fred McMurray in Double Indemnity, he thought he was the one calling the shots, but was really just a pawn in her game. Both films show how these femme fatales are master manipulators who make their marks feel like they're in control while actually pulling all the strings.
In writing this, I found like I was putting a whole bunch of pieces on the chessboard and moving things around. And when you move one thing around, something happens and becomes very complex to plot out the whole thing from the beginning.
That's the beauty and challenge of noir plotting, where every character has hidden motives. You've got Butts, Connie, Walter, and Detective Garrity, all with their own agendas, and when one piece moves, it creates ripple effects throughout the whole story. The complexity must have been incredible, trying to keep track of who knows what and when, especially with all those Double Indemnity and Body Heat elements weaving together.
They're out there in the countryside, and there's no internet, which makes it even more difficult.
Walter's completely isolated when he collapses, just like those classic films where characters were truly cut off from help.
Let's take a noir film called DOA. In DOA, the main character has a certain amount of time to live.
DOA is such a perfect example. Edmund O'Brien's character gets poisoned and has 24 hours to solve his own murder before he dies, running around frantically trying to piece together who killed him and why. No calling for backup, no Googling clues, no security cameras to check, just pure desperation and the ticking clock. It's that analog urgency that makes classic noir so gripping.
You know, I'll leave a little tease out there as we go along toward the end of the book. I'll show you at the end of the book exactly what I'm talking about, but let's go on for now. Here we are with Walter and Connie.
I love how you're building that anticipation. So we're back to Walter being dead and Connie now owning everything while Butts is getting increasingly paranoid about Detective Garrity closing in. What happens next between our cold-blooded widow and her increasingly nervous accomplice?
He's gonna set her up on a boat in the harbor. With Connie being on the boat, he's gonna find a way to either knock her out or attempt to kill her and dump her body in the water.
He's luring her onto a boat where she'll be completely isolated, no witnesses, no escape route. That's such a classic noir move, using the water to dispose of evidence. Sounds like our perennial creep finally figured out he's been played, and now he's planning his own deadly chess move.
I don't know if he thinks he's being played or he just wants her out of the way.
Ah, so it's not about revenge or feeling betrayed. Butts just sees Connie as an obstacle now. That makes him even more cold-blooded. He's thinking purely practical. She's the only one who can tie him to Walter's murder, so eliminating her cleans up all the loose ends.
They're all around the boat, and our good friend Detective Garrity is out there, and she's looking across the dock. There's good old Gordon Butts in the middle of this disappearance of his wife, and now Garrity's really freaking out because she can't prove this thing one way or the other, and no one can find Connie's body.
Oh man, Detective Garrity is having the worst case of her career. She knows Butts is guilty as sin, but can't prove either murder, first Walter's heart attack, and now Connie's mysterious vanishing act. No body means no concrete evidence. And Butts is probably playing the grieving widower perfectly, while Garrity watches him from across that dark water, knowing he's gotten away with it twice.
Amazing, and Butts isn't that smart. He's smart enough to kill two people and have the crimes go unsolved.
That's the perfect paradox of noir. Butts is cunning enough to orchestrate two murders, but not brilliant enough to realize he's probably digging his own grave. He's got that dangerous combination of low cunning and overconfidence that makes him think he can keep outsmarting everyone forever.
A few weeks go by and Butts is starting to smile. A little bit of a smile is coming to his face as he realizes he's gotten away with murder twice. Well, he does talk with his friend Tom Cowles in an upgraded bar room, more like a restaurant, and while he's there, he starts flirting with the waitress, Shannon McCurry.
That's the dangerous moment right there. Butts is getting cocky, thinking he's some criminal mastermind when really, he's just been lucky. That overconfidence is usually when noir characters start making their fatal mistakes. So Butts is already moving on to his next victim, classic predator behavior. He can't help himself.
She's just a young thing. She's wild about Butts, so he thinks.
This young waitress has no idea she's caught the attention of a double murderer who's feeling invincible. He's reading way too much into her friendliness, isn't he? She's probably just being nice for tips while he's spinning fantasies about another conquest.
I'm not sure about that. I know she appears to Tom and everybody else to be interested in Butts, and Lord knows why that's the case.
That's the mystery of the ages right there. What Shannon sees in our charming murderer. Maybe she's got terrible taste in men, or maybe Butts is putting on his best act for her, while everyone else watches this train wreck unfold.
So Butts gets very close to Shannon, and now she's at the Thornton mansion with Butts, in charge of everything, and Maureen Garrity just shaking her head.
Oh man. Detective Garrity is watching this disaster unfold like she's got front row seats. Butts has gone from murdering his way to the top to playing house with Shannon at the mansion. Talk about living dangerously. Maureen's probably thinking this guy just can't help himself, can he?
Well, he says to Shannon, let's get out of town for a few days and take a train trip to upstate New York and just relax.
Oh, Butts wants to take Shannon on a romantic getaway. How thoughtful of our double murderer. A train trip to upstate New York sounds like the perfect way to lay low and avoid Detective Garrity's watchful eye. Though, knowing Butts, this relaxing trip probably won't stay relaxing for long.
You're exactly right. but Shannon is getting very, very sick. Remember, we're back in the time, maybe in the late 80s, or maybe the early 90s. And another time, Shannon has a real problem, and Shannon is seeing a doctor for her problem.
Ah, right. We're in that era when a serious medical problem could mean something really frightening. Poor Shannon's dealing with something that requires a doctor's attention, which back then carried a lot more weight and worry than it might today.
You're exactly right. But Shannon is getting very, very sick. And Shannon is seeing a doctor for her problem.
Oh no, Shannon's getting sick on their romantic getaway. That's definitely not part of Butts' plan. Let me guess. This isn't just regular travel sickness, is it? Something tells me our charming murderer might have a hand in Shannon's sudden illness.
Correct. Today there are things that can be done, but back then she finally confesses to Gordon Butts what her problem is.
Shannon's finally ready to tell Butts what's been weighing on her. In that era, when medical options were so much more limited, whatever she's about to confess must be absolutely terrifying.
She finally confesses to Butts what her problem is. She and Butts have been making love like crazy, and I can tell you right now, there is something wrong with her. She's very, very ill, I guess.
Oh wait, Shannon has HIV or AIDS.
You hit it right on the head now with Gordon Butts,
In the late 80s and early 90s, that was essentially a death sentence.
who is only concerned about himself and is freaking out because he could have AIDS. Welcome to the world of Gordon Butts.
And Butts would be absolutely terrified knowing he's been exposed through their intimate relationship. Of course, Butts is only thinking about himself. The man who coldly murdered Walter and tried to kill Connie is now absolutely panicking because the consequences of his actions might actually catch up with him. This must completely derail his escape plans. Suddenly, a romantic getaway becomes a nightmare where he's facing his own mortality. Butts is talking to Shannon about her devastating news. What does our selfish anti-hero say to the poor woman who just revealed she's dying? And his immediate response is basically, "Forget about you." That's exactly the kind of selfish reaction you'd expect from someone who's already proven he'll eliminate anyone who inconveniences him.
He says, I want to talk to your doctor. I want to get tested. Make sure that I don't have AIDS. Now you can see why I didn't want to use his first name. He doesn't deserve that.
You've been calling him Butts this whole time because Gordon doesn't deserve the dignity of his first name. The man just proved your point perfectly. Shannon drops life-altering news, and his only concern is protecting himself.
Okay, so he goes off and sees the doctor, gets tested, and gets a phone call.
The moment of truth. What news does the doctor deliver to our paranoid anti-hero? Right. So Detective Garrity is still in the dark.
The doctor is quite emphatic. Test positive for HIV. So he calls Shannon and the phone rings and rings. Then the message comes on the machine.
Hello, Shannon McCurry here. Actually, if I were here, you wouldn't be hearing this funny little message.
He calls again. Same thing. Nobody picks up. Answering machine. Now he's concerned that she may be very, very sick. Butts is even more afraid that he might be outed, for going out with another woman, and somehow this will get back to Garrity. He's worried about himself. So Butts actually keeps calling and getting the answering machine. What do you think's going on?
Now Butts is experiencing something he's never felt before. Genuine concern for someone else's well-being. Though, let's be honest, it's probably still mixed with panic about his own situation. The irony is delicious. The man who's been coldly calculating everyone else's demise is now desperately trying to reach the one person who might actually matter to him.
Butts goes over to her place and starts banging on the door.
There it is. Even when he's potentially dying, and Shannon might be seriously ill, Butts is still calculating how this affects his image with Detective Garrity. The man literally cannot stop being selfish. It's like his superpower, except completely terrible.
Shannon. Nothing happens, so he breaks down the door and goes inside.
This is where Butts completely loses it, breaking and entering, because nothing says, "I care about you," like property damage. He's crossed another line here, and whatever he finds inside Shannon's apartment is going to change everything. The desperation is real now.
He gets in there and only one thing's left in the apartment. All the furniture is gone and the only thing left is the phone and the answering machine.
Shannon completely vanished and left only the phone and answering machine behind. She's either fled town because she figured out Butts is dangerous, or something much worse happened to her. Either way, our sleazy protagonist just walked into his worst nightmare. Butts has hit rock bottom, facing his own mortality. Shannon's vanished, and suddenly he's ready to come clean to the one person he's been dodging this whole time.
He calls Garrity and he's ready to confess. Well, Garrity comes down there and Butts is doing his confession. Well, somebody slaps the cuffs on Butts and we find out, the reader finds out, that Connie Thornton is still alive and that Shannon McCurry worked for Connie Thornton and the doctor had a phony diagnosis for Gordon Butts and was paid off by Connie Thornton. Garrity says, I'm arresting you for the murder of Walter Thornton down on whatever road that was in New Jersey. And Butts is now going to be convicted of murder twice.
Connie orchestrated the entire thing. She's been pulling all the strings from behind the scenes. Shannon was working for her. The doctor was paid off. And Butts' HIV diagnosis was completely fake. Connie played the ultimate long game. She manipulated Butts into killing Walter, then systematically destroyed him using his own paranoia and selfishness against him.
And Connie Thornton, owner of Walter Thornton's plumbing business, has taken the assets and has disappeared to parts unknown.
The title Framed works on multiple levels now. Classic femme fatale victory. In Double Indemnity and Body Heat, the male protagonists get caught, but they're still the ones who initiated the murder plots. Butts is completely different. He's the ultimate patsy who thinks he's the mastermind, but was actually Connie's puppet from day one. While Walter Neff and Ned Racine at least got to enjoy being the schemer for a while, poor Butts never even knew he was being played until the cuffs clicked shut.
Hey, it's past midnight. Let's get off the docks before someone like Butts leaps out from behind a stack of wooden boxes.
I think I'll call an Uber.